Hello planning mashers and welcome to yet another Plan With Me video. Today we are setting up November in my bullet journal and the theme is something you guys actually suggested in my Instagram stories. My November theme is coffee and books. So November here in La Paz is supposed to be a spring month, but I'm sitting here wearing a sweater covered in blankie and having a hot beverage. So when you guys offered coffee as my theme, I knew it had to be it. For a cover page, I went with a cup of coffee and a few books to symbolize the theme of the month and a little quote. This is actually something I will be doing on all the pages this month. There will be a quote, coffee-related quote, on each page, and I actually quite enjoyed it. It helps to bring the thing together, and it's just generally fun reading and finding all these hilarious coffee-themed quotes. For the colors, I decided to go with the bright zebra mindliner colors versus having a black and white or a brown theme. All the supplies will be linked in the description. The next spread is my monthly log, and I'm also trying something new here. Usually I have at least one page for my monthly log, and I realize now that it's kind of a waste. I don't have that many things going on, and even though I try to plan my content on the monthly spreads, it didn't really work out. I'm still more comfortable planning out this digitally. That way I can move the things around without feeling horrified by the mess I make in my bullet journal. So this month I am doing a very tiny monthly log. As you can see, I created a little calendar, and underneath there is going to be space to write down all my monthly appointments or big dates and stuff like that. I still want to be able to look at the calendar and see that I do have something going on. So I created a little key. I divided everything that's going on into birthdays, deadlines, and meetups. I'm assigning a color to each one of these categories. And when I have something on that day, I will just color the day in appropriate color in my calendar page. That way, from the first glance, I will know that I have something planned, so it will be much more convenient. After I was done with this, I still had half a page, so I am doing my goals in the rest of the spread. This month, I'm doing my goals in a very similar way to the goal spread I did for my 31 days of bullet journal page ideas video series. The goals will be divided in 3 parts. What's the goal, why I want to achieve it, and what are the steps I'm going to take to achieve it. I realized that there isn't that much space, but a while ago I found that when I have a lot of space for my goals, it often just becomes yet another to-do list. So that's why I decided to leave less space, so I have to write everything straight to the point. The next spread is habit tracker. As you probably noticed, I also start this spread with a cup of coffee and a banner with a name of a coffee. This is actually another trademark of this setup. On every spread, I'm doodling different kind of a coffee cup with a different kind of coffee inside. I just felt like it's fun to experiment. And personally, I'm a latte girl, but I felt like maybe it's time to discover different types of coffee. So I guess this is in a way a reminder of all the wonderful coffee things out there. As you can see, this month I went with my favorite format of a little calendar for each habit. This is literally the best format for me. I keep coming back to it. Also, you probably noticed that I have many more habits than I did in October. And that's because I feel like now we're finally settled and I'm finally ready to start working on some of my habits, on myself, to start paying more attention to self-care and to some of the other goals I have. There is something I have to tell you about this spread. I spilled some soup on my habit tracker spread. Yes, it's as horrible as it sounds. And these huge yellow stains gave me a lot of hard time. Let's just say I really needed to take a break after this catastrophe. But I did fix it. What I did is I used a white jelly roll pen to color out all the yellow I had on the page. When you look at it, you can't really see it. Of course, if you know where it is and you pay extra attention, you can see little blotches of white ink, but they are really hardly noticeable and it's a perfect solution. Honestly, if you make any mistakes, white jelly roll pen is probably your best friend. Now to the next spread, and it's a gratitude log. I've been doing gratitude logs for a while and I tried a lot of different formats. I did a word a day, a doodle a day, a line a day, and I must say that the format that works for me best is writing down your gratitudes with words, like sentences. There is just something very powerful in putting your gratitude in words on the paper. It just makes me feel more grateful, I guess. So I think for now, I'm gonna be sticking with this format. Next spread is another experiment for this month, and it's a time log. I actually tried to have a time log in one of my weeklies in October, and it was really helpful. Time log is basically a way for you to monitor your time and how you spend it, and it was very eye-opening when I did this in just 1 week in October. So I thought I should do this again in November, pay more attention to it, and just maybe make it a habit to log my time so I know that I'm using it the best way possible and not on my Netflix. Probably one thing you notice here is that for some reason in my mind there's 31 days in November. That was, of course, disappointing, but I feel like after my soup fiasco with the habit tracker, this just wasn't such a big deal. Again, I fixed this mistake with my Sakura jelly roll. Going back to the time tracker, you can see that I created a little key with the main tasks which I want to monitor, because I want to make sure that I spend enough time doing these exact things. and I will be assigning different colors to each one of these categories. And each hour, I'm gonna go back to this spread and mark the color on the time log. Once I was done, I also decided to add a sleep category so I could use this time log as a sleep tracker. I've been having some troubles with my sleep. I'm going to bed too late and I can't wake up in the morning, so I want to pay more attention to it and kind of be more intentional on creating a better sleeping schedule for me. This time log was supposed to be the last spread for my November, but once I sat down to write my Plan With Me post, I realized that there were 2 more spreads which I wanted to include. Speaking of my Plan With Me post, I also included there 27 other works from different artists from Instagram who also created a coffee theme in their bullet journal. So in case you want to check out a different take on a coffee theme, I will leave the link in the description. So the 2 spreads missing was first a to-do list. I didn't have a big monthly to-do list for October, and I must say I really missed it. So in November, it's back. And I decided to add this little quote there, just kind of a reminder and a motivation for me to be more productive, to complete these tasks, and not to procrastinate. Now, the other spread which I am doing right now is my monthly recap. I know monthly recap is supposed to be at the end, but I had this page here and I thought, does it really matter? I might as well just include it here. As always, there are 5 categories of my monthly review, which you can see on the top. It's what I did for my goals, what made me happy, my gratitudes, lessons I learned, and events. And at the bottom is all the monthly statistics and information for Masha plans, which is now one of my biggest projects and goals. And I really enjoyed this little section for next month, which I did in September. So it's happening here as well. As you can see, after using the blackout book, I am pretty obsessed with the white on black effect. So I create plenty of these black banners and of course using my favorite Sakura jelly roll to write on them. I just really like how it looks and I feel like it's a good fit for this theme. Make sure to check out my Plan With Me post with 27 coffee-themed bullet journal page inspirations from other creators, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep bullet journaling and don't be a blob. Bye!